Now, we know that gender equality isn't simply about women. How could it be? It takes all of us as a community, as a nation. And I want to welcome to the stage one of our fabulous male allies here today, the wonderful David Tennant.
Hello. Thank you very much. I'm very honoured to be here today. Thank you for having me. I'm here to read the words of an extraordinary man who's been on an extraordinary journey. I'm going to let his words speak for themselves. This is the testimony of John Clough. I never wanted to be anything other than a good husband, a caring dad, and to give my family the best I could. I never wanted to be associated with campaigns for victims of domestic violence. But on the 25th of July, 2010, my life changed forever. My beautiful, loving, caring, intelligent daughter was brutally murdered by her ex-partner in the grounds of the place she worked as a nurse, Blackpool Victoria Hospital. My daughter's name was Jane Clough. Jane was our second child of 3. She was an A-grade student at school, then an exemplary nurse, taking after her mum. She never forgot a birthday or anniversary. She had many friends and she loved a party. She was quite a karaoke star. She had a full life. She loved and was loved by so many people. And how she loved her daughter. The bond was so special to see. But then afterwards, the most painful thing was to see my granddaughter waiting for her mum to come home. She was just 9 months old. Every time the door opened, she would look for mum. This went on for weeks. Then one day she stopped looking. We live with the horror of the trauma yet to come when the truth has to be revealed to her. Unless you have experienced this type of loss, you can never and never will understand the pain, anguish and grief we have experienced as Jane's family. Jane's life was ended by someone who once professed to love her, but he was an abuser and a controller. His love was a deception. And the justice system in this country failed to protect her from him. They failed to protect her from a violent man who had been charged with 9 counts of rape and 4 counts of assault, including sexual assault. Because, despite objections from the police and the Crown Prosecution Service, despite facing all these charges, this man was released on bail. And he went on to brutally murder Jane. He wanted to prevent her from testifying at his trial. On the day of sentencing, this murderer was given a life sentence with a minimum term of 30 years. The existing rape and assault charges were ordered to be placed on file and not pursued. Those charges were described as insignificant. That statement was like a knife through my heart and through our family's heart. Since Jane's death, I have actively campaigned for change in the criminal justice system. And this resulted in a change to the Bail Act, meaning bail decisions can be challenged if the victim is at risk. My wife Penny and I were privileged to be present in the House of Lords when this was given royal assent, permanently changing the law to protect women like my daughter. It was given the name Jane's Law. I also went on to persuade Keir Starmer, when he was Director of Public Prosecutions, that the policy of placing charges on file when rape was associated with homicide, as happened in Jane's case, was inherently wrong. Crown Prosecution Service guidelines have now been changed to give victims' families a voice in that decision. My wife Penny was awarded an MBE in 2012 for her work for victims of violent crime. In 2019, I was awarded an MBE for services to victims of domestic abuse and stalking. Together, we have continued to be a voice for victims like my daughter, Jane. My daughter had so much love to give, not just to us as her family and her own child, my granddaughter, but to someone who would treat her with respect and allow her to shine in her own right. Every girl, every woman deserves that respect. A few years ago, I was invited to an event marking White Ribbon Day. I was privileged to meet Chris Green, the founder of White Ribbon UK, a proud partner of March for Women. I embraced the values that White Ribbon held to end all violence against women once and for all. I share the belief that men and boys must join this critical conversation and be a vital part of the solution. Along with my wife Penny, I've been Jane's voice for almost 9 years now, trying to improve others' experiences within the criminal justice system. With this voice, I continue to speak out for victims of abuse and stalking. We're working on the Stalkers Register. To date, we have almost 160,000 signatures in support. We fight on. There is much to do. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the difference you make.